Hello everyone, welcome to Openline. We are talking tonight about something that always gets a lot of interest. We're talking about guns. And there is a new law that will go into effect January of 2020. So it's going into effect in a few months. We're a few months away. And this law is a gun permit law. It adjusts our current gun permit law. People on both sides of the gun debate have expressed concerns about this, but it was signed into law by the governor, obviously passed by the Tennessee legislature. So we're going to kind of go down what this law does. Happy to have with us J.C. Shigog, a firearms instructor. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And as I want to go over what this does, but as far as your background, where are you on this when it comes to guns? Pro-gun, not pro-gun, kind of where would you say you fall?
I'm pro-gun. I'm definitely a pro-gunner.
You're a pro-gun guy?
Yes, sir.
And what do you think about this new law?
I think that this new law is basically a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea.
And now I am still understanding what it does, but let's do a 101.
Okay.
Basics.
Basics.
What does this new law do?
What the new law does is it divides the current handgun permit law into two tiers. The first tier is the current law that is already in place, or the current standard that's already in place. They call it the enhanced permit. Okay. The second tier is the concealed permit, which allows Tennessee residents to get a handgun permit just by going online, completing a short online training without the range training.
So the new concealed carry permit is cheaper.
Correct.
And requires no live firearm training.
Correct.
So I could get a concealed carry permit and never fire a gun.
Correct.
It can be carried in fewer public places. Anyone who wants the new permit can complete any firearms training or safety course online.
Correct. So
you complete a course online, and then you have a permit that allows you to carry a firearm.
That is right.
And so is that part of your concern?
That is a huge part of my concern, because now you're looking at a lesser standard of carrying a firearm in a potentially high stress situation. And if you're not training for that high stress situation, you're definitely going to make mistakes. And those mistakes can and will be deadly.
So this passed in the legislature, and again, obviously, some of the anti-gun groups were very opposed.
Yes.
Even the pro-gun groups, we've had John Harris on here, he was opposed, and said it kind of muddies the water for what he calls constitutional carry, something down the line. But all right, you're a firearms instructor.
Yes, sir.
Is it safe for people to just go online? I mean, do you think that's they're going to say it's our Second Amendment right and all of that, but firearms are powerful. Is it safe for people to get one of these permits if they've never fired a gun?
It's not safe. It's not safe. It's like someone buying a car without learning how to drive it. They become a danger to themselves and others. So I am a pro Second Amendment supporter, but the liability for a person to carry a gun without the proper training is very high, and that's something that we're trying to avoid. We don't want that particular liability so high. This is why there was a standard, the previous standard. Now, in my professional opinion, I think that we should have put some additional training on the previous standard. Therefore, you can be prepared for a high stress situation, such as defending yourself in a deadly force encounter.
Is additional training a burden or a barrier to people getting a gun? does it prevent people from getting something that is their Second Amendment right to have?
No, it doesn't prevent them from owning a gun. The handgun permit, you do not need a handgun permit to own or buy a gun. The handgun permit is designed for you to carry that gun loaded on your person in public in order to help deter crime. So the handgun permit in no way is a stepping stone or a hurdle for owning or possessing a firearm.
So one of the lawmakers who supported it, and obviously it passed, he said he thinks the bill will encourage people illegally carrying guns in a concealed manner to get the less expensive permit. What do you think of that?
I think so. Most humans tend to go with the easier route. You know, no one wants to be held to a higher standard when they have a lower option. And that's the majority. Now, some people, they take pride in what they do, and they want to do it correctly, so they seek out the proper path, the proper training, and they practice. Some people just want to have a gun for the sake of having one, and this is a route in order for that to occur.
So yeah, he voted for this bill, and he's saying the people who are carrying concealed now don't have training. This just ups the level of responsibility. So he's concerned about the people who are carrying illegally, and says this makes it more likely those people will get training. Is that an argument that you follow, or what do you think of that?
When dealing with people that do things illegally, they don't follow the rules. So regardless of what rules, what laws that you put out there, they're not going to follow that anyway. So they're really not a subject within the topic. It's those of us who are law-abiding citizens, those of us who really want the ability and the permission to carry. So those are the ones who fit into the subject matter.
So you're a firearm instructor.
Yes, sir.
Are you concerned that it hurts your business? Is that part of your concern here? Will fewer people be getting training and fewer people need firearms instructors? What about that?
I do. I think that fewer people will initially not be trained until something bad occurs. And that's usually when a lot of people get their handgun permit, because something bad has happened to them or someone they know. So they say, oh, I have to go and get my handgun permit. So the same thing is going to occur with the training. They're going to see that they're not capable of hitting what they're aiming at in a stressful environment, and they'll seek the training after that, but that might be too late.
So why do you think, were you up there when this bill was being discussed in the legislature? Were you up there saying, don't do this? Were people you know up there? How do you think this passed?
I don't know. I have no idea how this passed. Quite a few of fellow firearms instructors were there. A few police chiefs that I know, they were there. And it was like words being fell on deaf ears, you know. So.
If the gun lobby wanted it, I would say that there were probably lawmakers who were afraid to vote against it. Was this supported, do you know, was this supported by the NRA? Was this supported by the gun lobby?
Yes. From what I've read and seen in some of the publications, that the NRA did support this bill. Most of them are looking at this bill as a stepping stone to constitutional carry. My opinion is that they should have just went straight to constitutional carry, because now you're looking at the state allowing a lesser standard to carry the same weapons, and that can provide a lot of liability.
And again, John Harris, Tennessee Firearms Association, we interview him on this show. He supports constitutional carry.
Yes, sir.
And that was his argument, that they should have just gone straight to it. That this bill was kind of jumbled, and they don't really know. He didn't support it, and he didn't know why they passed it. But tell us again, what is constitutional carry? What would that have done?
Constitutional carry, it basically puts all the responsibility on the citizen, and that the citizen, it has a constitutional right to own and bear arms, and that citizen can buy and carry the handgun or shotgun that they want to carry, or even the rifles. But it just depends on how.
Would they need any training under constitutional carry?
No, sir.
So as a firearms instructor, why would you support that?
Because that is a constitutional right, and that existed prior to me being a firearms instructor. That was one of the things that encouraged me to be a firearms instructor, because I see people who they want to learn, and I want to be one of those people who will assist them in learning the proper way to do it and the safe way to do it.
So when this goes into effect on January 1st, 2020, what should, are we going to be less safe in your opinion, and what do we need to be thinking about before that? We have a few months here. What do we need to be doing in advance of that, in your opinion?
Well, we should get the word out that if you're planning to go and get a concealed gun permit and you don't have any training, we should be putting that information out, that training is necessary if you're going to carry those loaded firearms on your person in public. You should seek training. You should seek some type of training.
Just online training?
No, you should go to a firearms instructor, because now what you're learning is you're learning laws, liability, the better way to cover yourself. Because you may not know that just by going and purchasing a firearm.
So the new concealed carry permit is cheaper, as I said.
Yes, sir.
It requires no live firearm training, but it can be carried in fewer public places. Do you know, when we get into that, what are we talking about? Where can, it means you can't carry it in as many public places. What are some of the areas where I guess you could not carry this new?
Like the current firearm permit that we have now, you can carry in parks, you can carry on college campuses. The new one that's coming into play, you can't carry in parks, you can't carry on college campuses.
Unless you get the full training.
Correct.
Yeah, you go get the full training, you can still do that.
Correct.
But if you just go online and take some test, you can't carry in parks and college campuses.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so what do you think of that? That's what we're talking about. So I encourage you to call in with your thoughts as we delve into the gun debate. Let's go to Joe, who is on the line here. Hello, Joe.
Hi, how you doing tonight?
Doing great.